Hey guys, it's Jared here. I'm finally back with a new video about cards that you should be investing in. I know it's been probably like 3 years since I've uploaded. I actually took a break from Yu-Gi-Oh for 2 years and I didn't really do much with this channel after that, but I really do want to get back into the game. I actually just got back into the game playing again, and I do look forward to putting some work in on this channel. I'm really excited about that, so I'm really looking forward to keep creating content about just kind of Yu-Gi-Oh in general for you guys. A quick disclaimer before we get into this video. These thoughts and opinions are my own, and I'm in no way guaranteeing that in any way you can make money off of buying these cards. It's just my sole opinion, and I just want to make that clear to everybody before we go into this. But yeah, now that I've said that, let's just jump right into it. So the first card that I want to talk about is Beatrice. BA is actually making a pretty big comeback after the ban list, and a lot more players are looking to play it now. It also is going to become more prominent once the rule changes take place for MR5. You can already do some pretty cool combos with the deck with link summoning, but when MR5 comes out, the deck's going to be less clunky in terms of just like making Xyz monsters and synchro summoning. And Beatrice only has one printing right now, so if this deck becomes top tier, it will be very competitive and people will need to at least run one of it. So I could see this card easily like shooting up to like $15 in price. I don't think it's a horrible idea to pick up like this card right now, just because like it is sitting at $7, but like if you just trade for it at like, you know, your locals, or like, you know, you go to regionals and trade for it, you definitely could probably make a little bit of money off it in the end. People are also a lot less likely to go exactly for the dollar when trading, so like, you know, you could probably get it for like maybe a little less than what it's worth like at cash value. So Beatrice is definitely a card that I would look to pick up like right now, just because I could see BA being very prominent in the near future. So the next card that we're going to look at is Maxi. Now, I know what you're thinking. This card is banned, and so a lot of people think that it's probably pointless to invest in it. However, if you look at the price of this card right now, even while it is forbidden, it's kind of insane. Like the structure deck is going for $7 right now. Well, that's like the market price, but like we got 3, 4, you know, this one we got 5, 6, 7, 13. The Astral Pack is going for 185, which doesn't, well, 200, doesn't really count just because it's like the Astral Pack. So, but then like even like the Premium Gold is going for 4 or 5. For a card that is banned, that's really telling of kind of just like how good the card is. It's still super high, and even vendors at events actually still actively look to pick this card up when they can, because if this card were to ever come off of the list, it would be in insane demand. The card is so good, it would actually probably shift the meta of the game, so people would be looking to pick it up and put it in just about every deck that they have. It's hard to tell just how much this card would go up, but I feel like you'd at least make your money back and then some if this card ever came off the list. So again, kind of with Beatrice, this is a card that I would maybe look to just trade for. Maybe like, you know, pick it up, throw it in for like some trades that you're trying to do with people and stuff. I wouldn't necessarily go out and just like buy this card, like, because you don't know. But I do think that it is smart to definitely look into getting this card. It's definitely an investment. I don't see it coming off the list anytime soon, but if it ever does, it would be in very high demand. Alright, so the next cards that I want to talk about aren't actually specific cards in general. They're the archetypes from the new set, Ignition Assault. So the first archetype is the Plunder Patrol cards. They actually are a TCG exclusive, and they already have like hype around them. And as you can see, like I think like 3 or 4 of the main cards are already shooting from anywhere from like $10 to $11, just because people want it. However, I bet that this is probably because the set is just brand new and there's a lot of hype around it. Once the set has been out for a few weeks, more cards will come into circulation. I'm hoping that the prices drop. I could see them staying hyped, but I'm thinking once more cards, you know, circulate, people start selling more, it'll eventually bring the price down a little bit. The other actual archetype that is in Ignition Assault that we're looking at is the Ancient Warriors. These cards are significantly cheaper than the Plunder cards. That's because there's not like much hype around them. They're actually getting kind of underlooked, I feel like. I think getting your hands on either of these cards will benefit you just in terms of value that you have like in a trade binder and in, you know, selling eventually down the road. One of the big things about like looking at cards and like trying to air quotes, like invest in them. You need to look like far off into the future. Not like necessarily far off into the future, but don't be looking at like the now. You got to always be looking ahead at like what's next, like what's coming. Not looking at buying cards that are currently dominating the meta and that are currently going to like be of high value. You always want to look at like what's low right now, so you, when it becomes relevant, you can sell it at a higher price point. And I think that Ancient Warriors and the Plunder Patrol cards are definitely like something to consider, just because like it's cheap right now. There's like very little downside to getting your hands on these right now, especially anything in Ignition Assault right now, just because you can get it fairly cheap, and the upside is huge. Like, so you could get your hands on like a lot of this stuff, and it turns out to actually like be really good and people really want it, and then you can turn around and make a little bit of money off of it. Alright, so the last card that we're going to be talking about is Cross Sheep. So this card is also from the Ignition Assault set. Right now it's sitting at like $4, which is pretty good, but this card, I personally think that this card is going to be relevant in the meta, and I think it will be relevant even after MR5, mainly because it will keep Link summoning relevant, because it interacts with other extra deck cards. Just this weekend in Bloomington, somebody was playing this, and they were doing it with the Mech Knights, and it helped them because they could do the fusion summon with it and then get something from their graveyard. Or maybe it wasn't the Mech Knights, I don't remember, but I saw this card come up already, and like the set had just dropped like not even a week ago. So I think people are going to be constantly looking to kind of finesse this into their decks, and because it can help them a lot. I could also see this card potentially flopping, but that's kind of like the beauty of this. Right now, like, the card's only $4. You're not really out a whole lot if you invest in it, and like it turns out to flop. Like, but on the other side, you know, I could see it being like easily like a $10 card. I think it just kind of depends. We gotta kind of see where like the meta goes from there. I honestly don't think it's a bad card to pick up right now. People kind of want it, and it's not super high, so I would consider getting this, maybe doing some trades for it too. I am gonna buy a set just because I think, this is like my guess, like I think that the card's gonna go up. So either way, the card's just, you know, $4 or $5 right now, so it wouldn't hurt to keep an eye out for it. Well, that's all I really have for you today. Thanks for watching this episode of Cards to Invest in, guys. Let me know what you guys plan on picking up in the comments below, and we'll catch you next time.
See, I remember when I met you as a sophomore. Started out as friends, but I knew that we would want more. Hit your favorite restaurant with your favorite dress on. That's one of my favorite memories that I've kept on the road with me. I know it's crazy how things change so quick. Went from rock bottom to all this fame and shit, but look, I couldn't love you, but I wished I could. Cause I got hurt and closed you off and you understood. But look.